Hello traders, Rich here and welcome to Kucoin as episode 18, and today we are going to go over 6 altcoins that I'm keeping an eye on. If you don't know about Kucoin, it's one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world with over 700 billion traded volume on the platform and 10 million registered users from more than 200 different countries. Kucoin has many features like margin trading, spot trading, mining pool, staking, lending, and many more with over 700 listed coins. If you don't have an account yet, and make sure to add my referral link in the description below. And if you create an account through it, you'll benefit from 20% discounts on your trading fees. So let's get started. And as usual, cheers. Let's start with KCS because we've covered it last time on episode number 17, if you remember. We are still sitting around a strong ground number and support area. We've got multiple rejections from it previously, and it's currently acting as a support zone. That's why we'll be expecting the buyers to take over. But of course, we don't buy blindly. We always wait for the boost to take over by breaking above this last major high. Anyway, we'll see it better when we zoom into lower time frames. Meanwhile, we'll be looking for bust ups. That's why you see my alert right here. Unless we break below this area lower, below the 9. In this case, the bears would break below the support again. And in this case, a movement lower to around the lower support, around 5, 6, which is also the intersection with the lower trend line acting as a non-horizontal support. So we'll be expecting this movement where we'll be looking for new bust ups. That's why you see support 1 and support 2. But for now, let's take it step by step, right? Around the support, we are looking for bust ups. If you zoom into lower time frames to H4, we can clearly see that we've got this inverse head and shoulders, and this is the neckline covering the entire structure, the entire range, and the shape of a head and shoulders. So we're waiting for this break, a daily candle close above it, for the boost to take over. In this case, a movement at the 14-15 resistance zone will be expected, which is also a supply zone as we had an aggressive movement down from here, and also the intersection with the upper trend line. Meanwhile, the bears can take over by breaking below this area here. In this case, if this happens, then further movement lower, as mentioned, would be expected. We would break below this rising channel. Next, we've got Helium, HNT. We are currently around a strong support area. It's also a demand zone as we had an aggressive movement upwards from it. We also have a wedge pattern. As you can see, the impulse movements are getting smaller in size and flat, especially the last one. As you can see, we had bearish movements pushing lower, making low lows and lower highs. However, starting from here, we are stuck inside a consolidation. So obviously, we're waiting for this consolidation to be broken upward for the boost to take over. So for this one, this would be my trigger. For those who know, I always highlight it like this in purple, and I go for my trigger. I'm waiting for a break above, like around the 11.5. Around this area, like around 12, sorry. Okay, in this case, the bulls would take over and we'll be expecting further movement upward. And the next resistance would be around this area. If broken upward, then further movement upward would be expected. Meanwhile, and until the bulls take over by breaking above this last major high, we can still trade a little bit lower. In this case, we'll be zooming into lower time frames and look for bust ups to catch this impulse movement upward. Next, we've got DOT. We've got an inverse head and shoulders pattern as well. If you zoom out to weekly time frame, we rejected this demand zone, which would be around the 5 round number. However, we are currently approaching a resistance and also the 10 round number. If you zoom into daily time frame, we've got a channel forming. So we might still reject this area, trade a little bit lower before breaking this last high upward. In this case, if we trade lower, we'll be looking for bust ups around the 5 round number, which is also the demand zone. Meanwhile, for the bulls to take over, I still need to see a daily candle close above the 10, which is the resistance, and also it would be the neckline, which is covering the entire range. So I'm waiting for this one, which would be our trigger. And sorry, let me go for capstock, our trigger in this case. Meanwhile, the bears can still kick in here and trade lower. We'll be looking for bust ups around the lower band. Next, we've got Link. If you zoom out to, here we go. If you zoom out to weekly time frame, you can see that we are currently around a strong support and resistance area. It's also a demand as we had an aggressive movement upward from it. We'll be looking for bust ups here. And also we've got this 10 round number, like just like if you want, like DOT, we've got the 10 round number here, 5 support, and 10 round number for Link as well. So We also want a break above the 10, which, as you can see here, a very similar scenario, just like HNT Helium, a big wedge pattern, but now stuck inside a consolidation, also an inverse head and shoulders, very clear, very clean one. And while waiting for the neckline, which is covering the entire structure, and also it would be a break above the 10 round number. When this happens, a movement further up would be expected. The next resistance would be around the 20 round number. And meanwhile, we can still reject this area. In this case, just like previously here and here and here, we'll be looking for buy setups on lower time frames. Let's go to BAT, basic attention token. We rejected this demand zone, which is also a support area, multiple rejections from it. And also we've got the 0.5, which is also a resistance. So as you clearly see, many altcoins rejected the previous support, now approaching a resistance, right? The exact same view, just like DOT, just like HNT, Link, and so on. So rejected this support, trading higher, approaching this resistance. So the bears can still kick in here to trade lower, reject this resistance, just like all altcoins. In this case, we'll be looking for buy setups here, or if you break it higher, then we'll be entering the buy. We'll be expecting the bulls to take over from a long-term perspective. We've got our channel, we'll break above the channel, above this inverse head and shoulders, which is also this consolidation. So I'm waiting for a break, a daily candle close, of course, above this 0.5 to go long. Last but not least, we've got SAND, right? If you go to weekly time frame, here we go. We rejected this demand zone and aggressive movement upward. That's why the bull run started on Sandbox, and we are currently stuck inside the range, right? The next major resistance would be here, which is also a supply zone around 2.5. If you zoom into daily time frame, we also got, just like many altcoins, a channel. If we break above the neckline, would also invalidate or break above the channel. In this case, it would no longer be valid, no longer holding the price down. So we've got an inverse head and shoulders pattern, just like previously, many altcoins, and we are waiting for a daily candle close above it, a big one, like not a small one. I would need a big daily candle, a full one, breaking above this neckline. In this case, the bulls will take over and we'll be expecting further movement upward. And as mentioned, the next rejection would be around the 2.5. Let me know if you like this series. Maybe next episode will also be like 6 altcoins to look for. And I'll see you hopefully on the next one.